power into the hands of our panel, or me. So the four of us put in our favorite stories of the day. Two were chosen. Heather Hansen, you won, based on sympathy primarily.
I won. Wonderful.
What are you talking about?
Well, Joe, you have an 18-month-old child?
Yes.
Would you leave her in the car alone?
No, DYFUS would be called, and I wouldn't be hosting the show.
Well, right. That's my potluck. There's a case going on right now in New Jersey where a woman left her 19-month-old in the car. The windows were open, the car was running, the car was locked. She ran into a party store, and a judge, the superior judge in New Jersey, found that that was abuse or neglect. And they are actually now have appealed that to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court in New Jersey is now deciding that point.
Can I stop you real quick? I need a detail. I don't know if you have it. How long was the kid left for?
Somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes. Nobody can say exactly.
But the car was running?
Yeah.
Was there anybody else in the car?
No.
Was there a dog in the car?
No.
Okay. All right, continue. This
Well,
is horrible.
I mean, but those are the types of questions that are asked. And so the argument for the mother is to say that she has never been a risk to her children. She has 3 other children. She's never left them in the car. That she is a wonderful mother. She's a stay-at-home mom.
But the running of the car thing, I hate to keep interrupting you. Who does that when there isn't a kid in the car?
Right, leaves the car running.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know if that was somehow to provide more comfort for the child.
She must feel very
Maybe
safe
there
in her
was-
neighborhood or something.
Well, it was an upscale mall. It was not a, and these
It was
are
at the
all-
mall?
It was she was going into a party store. It was an upscale area. I don't know that it was actually a mall,
Okay,
but
like
an
maybe like a little
upscale
strip
area.
kind of
Right,
parking lot with a
right,
couple stores.
right.
All right.
So it's an interesting issue to me because you've got all these cases now where kids are walking to school, and should you allow your kids to walk to school, and how much should the state get involved in parenting decisions, and at what point, especially now, you've seen those kids who have died after being left in the car, so it's definitely an issue that is high on everyone's mind. This court really has almost said leaving your kid in the car, period, end of story, is abuse or neglect in New Jersey.
So what happens?
Well, it's at the appellate level now. The Supreme Court has it.
No,
and
what happens to the kid?
in this case, the kid was not taken away, but the mother was cited for abuse or neglect under the New Jersey law.
What's the penalty?
It's a fine here and some sort of probation. She wasn't put in jail or anything.
Okay.
But it is an issue that has to be decided, I think, on the case-by-case basis. There was another mother who ran into a store to get medication for her daughter, and that mother was not found to have been guilty of abuse or neglect. But if you're a good parent who made a bad decision, I think the argument on her behalf is this, shouldn't it be called something else?
What
Is
would
it
you
really
do if you were the
abuse or
judge?
neglect? If I were the judge,
Yeah.
I think you have to say that you put this under the statute in New Jersey. Are you putting the child at potential risk?
And
And
you
you
are.
are.
And the answer is
Most
yes.
certainly are.
Yes,
I saw
gonna
a child
kidnapped in a heartbeat.
The
Yeah.
answer is yes. It sounds to me like the issue is, can you declare someone deeply guilty of profound stupidity?
Right.
They get to
That's-
keep.
that's
they
right,
get to
that's
keep
right.
their kid. They pay a fine. Maybe they get monitored because this is really stupid. But you don't take people's kids away for
that's
this.
right.
So part of the problem is the moral outrage takes over, and then we punish stupid. But at the same time, this is dangerous stuff. I wouldn't do that with a dog.
Yeah. There's an argument to me that it shouldn't be done with the dog.
Right.
But it's parenting is hard, and then to have people looking over your shoulder after you've made a stupid mistake is hard too. But I do think that we've got to protect our children first and foremost.
Amen. And
I'm with you. I can't even imagine doing that.
Yeah, me either.
Brad, you're up next.
Okay, potluck. How about lemons to lemonade? Pope Francis had a meeting today at the Vatican with a number of people, political side, policy people, environmental scientists, called Protect the Earth, Dignify Humanity, the moral dimensions of climate change and sustainable development. All of this is moving toward an encyclical the Holy Father will offer this summer. And it's clear this is going to be very much about the role that people play in climate change. It's going to call for a whole range of policies that certainly people who are more conservative are flipping out about. Now, whether he's right or whether he's wrong, I think getting tense about this is a terrible mistake. Let's assume he's completely wrong about this. But here's the interesting thing. The big argument that progressives make against religious conservatives is, your religious views are taking over the public square too much. You're allowing your faith to drive policy too much. Freedom of religion really is just freedom of worship. Keep it inside your church or your mosque or your synagogue. But I promise you, all those same people are cheering wildly that the Pope is now coming out on their side for faith-driven reasons. So it seems to me the real issue here is everyone brings their faith or faithlessness to public debate when it serves their needs and complains bitterly when the other side does it. So I think here the interesting moment would be to say, look, we may disagree with the Pope in the conclusions he's reaching, but we actually appreciate his willingness to step in and remind the world that people of faith, they live their faith 24/7, not just on Sunday or Saturday or Friday. And it does shape the way we think about matters of public policy, not just theology.
Does this mean that you're thinking now of converting to Catholicism?
I'm not thinking of converting, but I'm an openly declared fan of this Pope. Not because I agree with a lot of the things he does, including this on the conclusion side, but because he is a beautiful model of absolute commitment to tradition and genuine openness to people who don't see the world the way he does. If we had more religious leaders like that in the world, we'd have a better world. So I'm a fan. I'm not converting, but I'm definitely a fan.
From a media perspective, I've never seen a Pope get more press than this one has in a very long time. You got to go back to
So
Pope John
well
II, I
Love
think.
Pope Frankie. He's my man.
Frankie.
He really is. I
Pope
mean,
Frankie, I don't know if I could
Love
do, but yes, I think
Love
he opens up possibilities for people across the faith spectrum, and that's why he deserves good attention and support.
and the Catholic Church has needed this support, so it's nice to see.
I think he's great.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for our potluck tonight, new and improved. But when we come back, it's time for Yay or Nay, which has some really bouncy, fun music. You got to stick around for that. This is the Daily Wrap, and it's only on New Max TV from New York City.